UIC. Freedom the people of need. Hell yeah. Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom the people of want. Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom the people of want. Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom the people of want. Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Real man a road. Now bow wolf in a tree grand a road. Now bow down to no demon a road. UIC when you see man a road, me say yeah. Real man a road. Now bow wolf in a tree grand a road. Now bow down to no demon a road. UIC when you see man a road. Ready for broke every chain.
Hi, welcome back everyone. Not sure what happened there, but I was kicked out. It's not the first time. God knows. I believe that somehow, they pay attention to the again. But anyways, I'm back. We're talking about the UIC's response to the striking action of the public sector workers. And I got into no mic this time. Can you hear me? Can you hear me loud and clear? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Wow. Can you hear me? Is it fixed? Please acknowledge. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? I guess not. Not hearing, it says. Not hearing, not hearing. Wow. Okay. Okay. Okay, you can hear me now. Wonderful. Wonderful. Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you all for your patience. I have no idea why these technical difficulties keep popping up for us. I have no idea, but it happens, eh? So let me go back to if you have any questions. I got disconnected I was making a point. I honestly don't even remember what point I was making back then. But safe to say, I asked for your patience and for your understanding. I really asked for us to be a team here, for us to realize that it's not easy for Jamaica to have. We've never had a successful third party in this country, never. And you need to understand why. I've said it before, but you need to understand why. Why we've never had a successful third party in Jamaica. And before I tell you why, you need to understand that the first political party in Jamaica, the very first one, was the Marcus Garvey Party. The very first one. Yeah? That's correct. Good suggestion. Stronger together. Very great suggestion. It's a good idea to have somebody. Normally we would have Naika in the background here, but I just went impromptu, so I couldn't disturb her to do that. But if somebody wants to join me, please let me know, and I will be happy to pull you in. But you should know that the first political party was the Marcus Garvey Party. Yeah? The first one was the Marcus Garvey Party. That was the first political party in Jamaica, the Marcus Garvey Party. So you should ask yourself the question, why, if the first political party in Jamaica was the Marcus Garvey Party, why is it that we don't have the Marcus Garvey Party today? Why isn't it the established party, the one that is now well known by all Jamaicans and is the dominant force in the country? Why don't we have the Marcus Garvey Party as the party today? Well, I'll tell you why. Marcus Garvey was a true black Jamaican back then in the 1930s when he formed the People's Political Party. He was a black man, a full black man, a real black man, a Jamaican black man. Yeah? So Marcus Garvey was a full black man who started the first political party in Jamaica in the 1930s. Yes. So why don't we have Marcus Garvey Party today as the leading party in Jamaica? It's very simple. The colonial powers that controlled Jamaica then and still control Jamaica today, they decided that that party should not succeed. And they sanctioned two parties. They sanctioned the People's National Party first and worked with Bustamante and Norman Washington Manley, and they worked with them to guide the Jamaican people to accept the system that we now have today, a system that would make the people feel as though they have democracy and therefore they had political power, and this would lead to them having economic power. So the colonial powers worked with Norman Manley and Bustamante to trick the Jamaican people into a system that would continue to serve the interest of the colonial masters while pretending to serve the interest of the Jamaican people. Subsequently, the colonial masters got Bustamante to leave the People's National Party and formed the Jamaica Labour Party a few years later in 1943. Now, the colonial masters are very smart. They always use the tactic of divide and conquer, the very same tactic they're using to try to destroy the UIC right now. They try to infiltrate and divide and conquer. They know our weaknesses. They know that they know all about me. They have done their full research. They know the extent of my financial capacity. They know everything. They know all about me, and they're just amazed that I'm still standing. You know, they've thrown so many punches, yeah, and and so they've worked to undermine the UIC from the very start, and they're amazed that we're still standing up after all that they have done to us. But back to Marcus Garvey. So the colonial masters worked with Norman Manley, Bustamante, and the others affiliated with their two parties to successfully destroy the Marcus Garvey People Political Party, and then to subsequently help with the complete destruction of Marcus Garvey himself. And so they got rid of Marcus Garvey and they got rid of the first political party in Jamaica and supplanted that with the two that we all came to know and in many instances love. And we felt all this time that we were just evolving normally, and these are two founding fathers, and they were shaping the Jamaica that would be independent. No, these two men and their political party was shaping the Jamaica you see today. A Jamaica that would not be independent, but would be more and more dependent. A Jamaica that would be used as a supply of technical labor for the first world, and they would leave a larger concentration behind of those who are less technically endowed. Yeah. And so over time, they use the brain drain to take away our best people as much as possible. They use multilateral and multinational debt and the IMF to siphon off our wealth. And not only that, they also gradually got our industries to be sold out to foreign interest or to be completely destroyed so that we become import dependent, so that they have a market for their products. And so it is not by chance that we have not had successful third parties. It's by design. And one of the design elements is to ensure that the people themselves don't become very organized. The people themselves don't become intelligent enough to understand and be fully aware as to how to build a political solution for themselves and how to run a political organization for themselves and how to fund it for themselves. So I'm trying to do that now with the UIC, with all the pressures and difficulties that you see there. So they made sure that the people remain ignorant to the reality of politics and just became complacent and comfortable with just playing the political game the way it has been presented to them. So they just go out and vote or be used by the political parties to excite the base and to do all the entertainment stuff and the buying of votes and so on, and the people just vote and that's it, and they think that they have voted for one side or the other. What they don't know is that behind all of this are the PSOJ oligarchs, together with the colonial masters, who provide funding in different forms. There are different forms of funding. Even the grants you see that are given, they're given to buy our political leaders, yeah, to get them to be allied with our colonial masters instead of allied with the Jamaican people. And so your political parties now are allied through grant funding from overseas and other form of funding, including even drug gun trafficking during the 1980s, for example, and late 70s. And then you have the PSOJ now who then provide the bulk of funding. And when they provide this bulk of funding to these two parties, to come into your communities and buy your votes and to put on the shows and to do the entertainment on TV and the ads and so on. You get all wrapped up in the appearance of it all, just the veneer, right? The what it appears to be on the surface. You just get connected in that. And then you're now watching and listening, and they have their debates, and they have their punchlines, and they have their nice slogans, money will jingle in your pocket, or black man time now, or sweep them out, or whatever it is, all kind of different, stuff. And you get excited about all of this. And then you go and vote and think, oh, may I vote PNP because of this, or I'm voting GLP because of that. Not realizing that at the end of the day, you're still voting for the PSOJ oligarchs. Now, in comes the UIC. In comes the UIC. And the UIC is saying, no, let us understand the trick and let us now build our own political party, funded by us, owned by us, controlled by us. And here you have some among us who want us to now do exactly what the other two have done. And here's what the logic is. And it's not the first time I'm faced with this. The logic is do what them do, and then after you win, you change and do the right thing. What they don't understand, what you are prior to getting elected is what you will be after you're elected. And even worse, because after you're elected, now you have state power, and that power is going to get to your head. So if you don't have a clear purpose and mission why you're doing this, if for example, some people their goal was to become prime minister. So when they become prime minister, that is the most important thing for them. But our goal in the UIC is not merely to assume political power. Our goal is transformative. We're going to transform Jamaica entirely, bottom up, top down, east to west, north to south. We're going to transform the entire landscape of Jamaica. We're talking about, for the first time, having a constitution that is written by us, for us, to achieve what we want to achieve as individuals and as a collective, a new constitution. You're talking about a police service instead of a police force. You're talking about an education system which truly educates, as opposed to a system which simply brainwashes, yeah, or indoctrinates. So we have a ways to go. But let me see if I can. Um, Somebody says, I'm a critical thinker, not a bandwagonist. If there is a problem that needs to be solved, I will state the problem, provide the possible. So there's somebody having their own little talk show on the side here. I put it to you that there are a number of problems that the UIC needs to solve, which needs to be stacked and ranked to. Okay, I'm not too sure what's happening there, but if there are any questions, I'm willing to answer them. I'm going to have to go shortly though because I had started before, and you know, I got interrupted. So you have a video out there now which is a bit chopped off, and I was trying to put it together. But please do not be deterred by the noise that is out there. Don't become impatient. Don't expect miracles. And what may seem easy and simple to you sitting behind your phone screen and say, why Mr. Patterson don't just do this and why UIC don't just do that? Maybe you can ask the question, and when I get a chance, I will answer it because I do not have all the time in the world, honestly. On my phone, many messages come in. I cannot possibly respond to all of them, but I do try to answer them as soon as I can answer them. So please be patient. I work just like the rest of you. I am not a full-time politician. I wish I could be in terms of working on the UIC full-time. That takes money, my friends. Money. Let us not be foolish. Let us not try to wish it away. It takes money. And I have already given all the money that I can give over the 10 years. I have given it all. So I want you to just be really practical and pragmatic and understand. If you had to do this, so if you want to say the things you want to say, come do it. Come down to Jamaica, get off the high horse and come down to Jamaica and come here and do what you're asking me to do. Do all of it. Come and do the real work that's involved. It is easy. If I were to sit alone and just come online and talk to you each day, I could do that. If that's all I would do, I could come on and just I'll do my work, and then in the evening I come on and just talk to you. But it's much more than that. Building and organizing a political movement and party is a whole heap of work, massive amount of work. You don't even see the half of it, the beginning, dealing with all of the ins and outs of what needs to be done. Yeah. Um, so I see Douglas Allen writing a lot on there. Doug, do you have a question for me? Um, if you have a question, let me know. But I see a lot of little commentaries there, but I can't read them all because they're coming fast and furious. But let us be realistic. Let us be practical. Let us be real. Let us understand that I'm not here sitting down, twiddling my thumb, and not doing anything. Like all of you, I am a hard worker, doing my work, putting food on the table for my family. I have given a lot to the UIC, and I continue to give a lot to the UIC, and by extension, to Jamaica. So let's just be reasonable, be responsible, and be patient. And let us be respectful. Yeah? I will never disrespect any of you. And I would suggest that you all do the same. Let us be respectful, be responsible, be kind, be courteous, be gracious. And I'm doing my best, and I will continue to do my best for the Jamaican people to move the UIC forward. And if you think I'm soft, if you think I'm weak, if you think that's fine. The UIC has a very simple process in our organization. Any one of you can stand for the leadership of the party whenever you see fit to do so. Any one of you. And then it's up to the members to make a decision on that. But I can assure you that when you have a chance to do what I'm doing, you'll see it's much more than what you might think is involved. It's far much more. And I wish I had a chance to give any one of you an opportunity to experience that for yourself. Yeah. But as I was saying before, pay attention to the political process and understand that there are some serious powers at work, and we can overcome them. We can overcome them, but let's not shoot ourselves in the foot. Let's not shoot ourselves in the foot. Let us make sure that we are doing the right things to help to move the movement forward. Don't just fly your mouth off. Get involved and play a part and help us to move forward. Yeah. Any questions? Let me see if I see any questions here. Why not rally to fund and hire a marketing team or group? Um, Says Miss. Of course, Mr. Douglas, if you can come and do that, we'll be more than happy. If you can come and help us to rally the funds and create a marketing group, that would be wonderful. We have had many iterations of persons who that we have organized with to try to get things done, and sometimes we win, and sometimes we lose. Sometimes we succeed, but it's very difficult. But if you can do it, we're more than happy to work with you to do it. We look forward to working with anyone who has any great suggestions that you think would help to move the organization forward. Um, Let me see what else we have here. Uh, um, Somebody says, why not get money, big company? I think what you're saying, Javon, is why not get money from big company? Well, we're not opposed to big companies. If a big company wants to donate to the UIC, we're more than happy to accept the donation, provided that they do not wish to change the vision, mission, values, or objective of the UIC. So we're very open. But you must understand, though, the reality, it is very unlikely that any big company will want to just fund the UIC, knowing that our policies are really geared towards the small man. Our policies are there to protect the small man. Now we could lie to you, we could say things that sound good for election purposes, and then when we get elected, we switch over and support the big companies. That's what has been going on for years. All the laws and regulations we have here in Jamaica are designed to protect big business from small business. Somebody else says here, Mr. Patterson, don't see criticism as a bad thing. It pushes the team to whatever. No, I don't. I don't see criticism as a bad thing. I see foolish criticism as a bad thing. But everyone is free to criticize. I'm just responding to let you know what's going on. So I'm telling you what you need to know. If you have criticism and you don't have a response, then how do you know? So I do not see criticism as a bad thing. Everybody is free to say whatever they want, and I will freely respond and tell you what I'm seeing. So, for example, it's much easier to criticize than it is to get things done. I get things done, and I also criticize. You see me criticizing the government. I criticize the opposition. I talk about the 78 years of the other two parties. The criticism is a part of the process. We have to have criticism. We have to have critique, and I welcome critique, and then I respond. So my responding to critique doesn't mean that I do not welcome criticism. It means that I'm responding, and so I will do that quite willingly. I cannot sell the UIC as a product if no one knows about the product. Douglas, that doesn't make any sense. You sell a product because nobody knows about the product. So if nobody knows about the product, then that's why you're going to sell it, right? You don't sell a product that's already fully known. If it's fully known, it's selling itself. If everybody knows already that this product X is out there and it's a wonderful product and they want the product, then it's very little effort to sell it. So the problem you might be having, Douglas, is that you may not be so inclined to do the work that is necessary. I have been doing the work that is necessary. That's why we're having this conversation now. That's why we have subscribers to our channels. That's why we have donors. That's why we have members. It's not as much as we would like. We don't have as many as we would like, and we're going to continue to grow. It's not very easy to sell a third party in Jamaica. It's not very easy. It takes a lot of work, and so we're doing the work that's involved. Let's see. This person says, if everyone knew about the UIC, then we wouldn't need to sell it you're not making any sense. That's somebody responding to Douglas. Mr. Patterson, we need a real marketing strategy. If you cannot hit the road, uh, we need a team of work. Sure, Douglas, as I said before, come and get it done. Come and get it done, man. If you can, come and get it done. Yes, Steve Lee, we want constructive criticism, but I'm fine, with all kinds of criticism. What I hope for is that we have, persons members who can see through the non-constructive criticism, um, and who can understand what's really going on. Yeah. Um, Douglas says it doesn't make sense. You curse me, Mr. No, I'm not cursing you at all. This is I'm not cursing you. I'm responding to you. I have people on here calling me thin skin and all of that. I mean, that's like cursing. I am here responding to persons making statements. Um, I don't return phone calls. I don't do this. Come on, guys. I mean, I can't return everybody's phone call. How many of you can call Andrew Holness or Mark Bowling and get them? Seriously. I have been very, very available. Very available. Like, I mean, I had persons who used to wonder, how do you make yourself so available? I used to do a show every Sunday. Those of you who know and remember, every Sunday I'd be on religiously. And we didn't have UIC Liberty TV then; it was just Facebook, and I would do a Facebook live every single Sunday. You know, but let us, let us be a little bit more kind to each other. You might say that I don't like criticism. I mean, that's not the point. The point is, sometimes we need to think before we, make certain utterances. Think about it carefully. Yeah. Let's think about it before you jump at this. Yeah. I mean, I honestly believe if some of those persons who tell me what I should be doing right now, if they had done what has been done up until now, they would have a very different view of things. Very, very different. But anyways, let's see. Any other questions? Somebody says, I want to join the jump program. Miss Livingston, is it Miss or uh, is it Neil? Not seen clearly. Absolutely. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m., I'll be talking more about the jump program and how you can join the program and how it's going to work. We have some really exciting times ahead of us where that is concerned. The question we have to ask is the UIC better what we currently have? And if it is, that's let's fight to let it known. Right. So I didn't get to see the name who wrote that. The question is, the person is saying, is the UIC better than what we have? What is the UIC? The UIC is you. The UIC is your. This is for the first time in the history of Jamaica since Marcus Garvey. We have a party which is full and ready and open for you. I mean, I am anybody who wants to go out there and make up a lot of noise and tell the Jamaican people that the UIC exists are free to do so. For months, I have invited everybody to form a UIC group in your community, here at home or abroad. You can get one person, two persons, 10 persons, 12, and form a UIC group. And you call in, register your group, and work to spread the word. We know we're not going to have the regular TV and radio stations on our side. We know the media is not going to be there because they're controlled by the PSOJ oligarch. So we have to do it. But for some reason, there might be the idea that Joseph Patterson just have to do it. No, we have to do it. We have to do it. All of us have to do it. Don't start the fight. Don't start the infighting with Joseph Patterson. I am not the problem. Now, of course, if you think I'm the problem, that's fine. You can elect a different leader. But outside of that, let's not go there. Let's talk about the real issues here. The real issues is that we're dealing with a resources problem. Now, just imagine if, and by the way, tomorrow night at 6 p.m., I've asked the treasurer to come and tell you exactly where we are in terms of all the funds that have been raised. Very transparent, all of it clear as day for you to see. Because some of you might think that there is this huge amount of money sitting there. And as I explained in my previous talk that was cut off when the system crashed, I explained to you that, you know, I am not afraid to talk about money. And I hear some people saying, I'm just talking about money and so on. I'm not afraid because I have no, I have no hang-ups about money. I have no fear to talk about money. I am very comfortable talking about money. I don't see money as evil. Money is a necessary part of civil society. If we're going to have a civilized society, and we can't pretend as if money is not important. We can't pretend that we can just do whatever and there are no financial implications. I heard somebody says I should just get up and run down to Santa Cruz. What? That's not going to cost any money. Come on. It's not going to cost any money for you. Money is important. Let us not behave and say those things uncaringly. We have members right now in the UIC who are suffering and struggling because of lack of money. We have persons who want to do things in their communities, who want to go out on campaigns and cannot because they don't have any money. They would love for the UIC, when they say UIC, because when people say UIC, they really mean Joseph Patterson. They say UIC needs to give us some money. So I have candidates who call me, I need money for this, I need money for that. And they're like, UIC. Who is the UIC? The UIC is you and me. It's we. We is stronger than me. The UIC is all the way. And yes, we have to put our money where our mouth is. And don't believe that one $10 and one $25 and one $50 or one $1,000 is enough. It's not enough. Every $1 or penny is welcome, but it's not enough. The last election, the PSOJ oligarchy gave 300 million to the other two parties. That is on top of what they gave them outside of the little election window. The 300 million is what they gave them in the election window, that small period of time, to drum up support and to market to you and to buy votes and to get you to vote one or the other again. $300 million for a few weeks. Outside of that, millions more, plus all the kickbacks. Okay? So we're not talking about a light matter here. And some of you are making very light of what we're doing here. You're being trivial. You're trivializing this thing. And you're trying to suggest that somehow I should be doing more. Why? Why should I be doing? We should be doing more. We all must do more. And I can tell you this without reservation. I have done enough. And I'm not being arrogant. I'm being truthful. I have done more than enough. And I make no apologies for that. You call me weak. I have been very strong. And I make no apologies for that. You can call me weak all you want. You can call me arrogant all you want. But the facts are the facts. The facts are there. So we're not going to argue the facts. The facts are there. I have done a whole lot. I've spent a whole lot. You would not know the precarious financial position I have put my family in to move this movement forward. You would have no idea. You would have no idea. So don't call me thin skinned, or you can. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's your right. You can call me anything you want. You say anything you can be as disrespectful, as rude, You can say anything you want to me because I'm just another human being like you. So you can say anything you want. You're free to say whatever you want. You can misrepresent, you can mislabel, you can exaggerate, you can understate, you can insult. Say anything you want. I will just have to face it. That is the price we pay for getting involved in politics. It's a huge price you pay. And that is why many well, bright people, smart people, many good people who could get involved in politics and could offer Jamaica their services and could make a big difference, many of them stay away, shy away. They have so much talent and skills they could bring to our country, but it's the kind of things that they see. They're watching and they watch and see what I go through, how I'm received, how people deal with me, and they say, my God, it's a good thing I didn't get involved, and they stay away. So be careful what you're doing. You might think that you are, I don't know what you think you're doing. Honestly, I don't know because people have different motives. Eh? I can't tell what the motive is from one person from the next. When people come to me, I just take them as they are. I work with them to the best of my ability, and then they reveal themselves for good, for better, or for worse, and we live with it. I can't make a strong value judgment about your character until you reveal it. So somebody says, don't let them pull you out, Mr. Patterson. No, man, I won't let them draw my tongue. I'll be fine. But I'm very straight. One of the things I think happen with people, with politicians, you see, is that they think that all politicians are the same. They'll do anything to get vote. I'm not one of them. I am doing my utmost best to rescue Jamaica from the precipice. But I'm not going to do whatever it takes to get your vote. No, I'm going to do what I believe and know to be right, and then you decide whether you want to lend me your support or not. I don't even want your vote so much, more than for you to understand the problem and to decide whether you want to help to solve it. That's what I want. This is not just about getting your vote. I spend a lot of time trying to educate Jamaicans so they can understand the problem. Because when you truly understand the problem, you see, the other day when we had those detractors in the UIC, those persons who try to tear me down at all costs, they clearly did not understand the problem. They thought that at some point, they thought the problem was now Joseph Patterson. They didn't really, if they understood the problem, they would have done everything in their power to not cause what happened to happen, because they would have seen how vital it is for the UIC, what we stand for, what our vision is, what our mission is to be achieved. They would want to do everything to see that that is achieved. And so let's say I had some kind of flaws, because I didn't hear, I hear some, well, I hear some things. I hear things like, I have flaws like, what are the flaws? For example, I'm a very tough cookie when it comes down to managing the affairs of the UIC. Yeah? You might see me and hear that I'm soft and so on. But if you sit in the boardroom with me, you might think otherwise. In fact, I've changed a bit right now, to be honest. I've backed off a bit because I realized that our people generally don't like straightforward individuals. They prefer people who beat around the bush or talk behind their backs or whatever. I am very straightforward. I want to just tell you what's going on, what I'm seeing, and ask you to give me your feedback. What is it? If we have a plan, I expect you to do your part. I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm not going to come to the meeting and beat around the bush and try to drop words here or there. I'm going to tell you that what was assigned to you isn't done, and I would like to know why. And I expect you to take responsibility for the task that was assigned, because I take responsibility for my tasks. Every task I get in the UIC, I take full responsibility for my task. So when I sit around the boardroom with my fellow members of the national executive, we all get responsibilities, and I hold myself accountable. I hold every member of the NEC accountable, and I expect them to hold me accountable as well. Now, I've learned over the years that we don't like that kind of accountability structure. We like to simply say, well, we did it and it was okay. We don't want to examine what went wrong, what went right, and who was responsible, and what are the implications of that. We don't like to do that form of analysis, that detailed analysis of whatever programs we do. And when we have a program planning, I realize many persons in my past experience, they would like to leave things for the last minute or not plan it out in full detail, don't have a proper checklist and so on, don't have any metrics to measure, performance by, and just kind of exist, just kind of go through. And I'm like, no, that's not the way. You need to have a proper analysis, a proper plan, metrics to measure your performance, and then you must measure the performance and you must get the feedback and you must then analyze the feedback that you get. And that to me is being accountable and being responsible. Now, others have a different opinion, and so they think that I'm a bad person for wanting that. Of course, they'll want that in theory, but they don't want it in practice. Now, I want it in theory and in practice. Mr. Patterson, why UIC make the donation transparent online at any time? I'm not too sure what you mean by that, Steve Lynn, but I think we spoke about it before. Um, I don't know how to make it transparent online. If you have a way to do it, let me know. But what we can do is what we do. The accountant, the treasurer, records all the transactions, and then we get a report that should go to the members. Now, again, we need to remember, right? Everything costs money. If we want the best possible services, if we want to have the best possible organization, we have to pay for it. For 10 years, I have done the work for free for everything to get this organization going. For 10 years, I have done it. And it's as if people want me to just continue doing everything myself. We have people who come and volunteer, and then the volunteers don't do their work, and then I have to pick it up, or my wife have to pick it up. And it's very costly. And so I said to us, we need to donate so we can hire the people in place to do the work. And some people think that because they gave $25 for the month, it solves all problems. It doesn't solve all the problems. We need enough persons giving $25 a month or $50 a month. Let's be very real. And as I said before, tomorrow, the treasurer, it's not up to me alone, right? I would give you everything you want, but I can't give you everything you want because I don't have the capacity to give you everything you want. You see, if you see those big churches in Jamaica, you know how those big churches are built? They're built by the members of the church donating. And then they build a big palace, a beautiful church. Those wonderful churches, see, it's poor Jamaicans who have given their money to build these massive, beautiful church edifices, or small ones. Sometimes it's small. The UIC is no different. We all need to realize it's important to fund this movement. It's not going to happen by wishing. It's going to happen by donating. And yes, I have to talk about money, and I won't stop. So if you don't like it, you have to vote for a different president. You might vote for a rich guy. Maybe like get a Michael Leach in and make him the president, and then you don't have to talk about donating, because he will just pay for everything for you. But do bear in mind what that means. Yeah? What does it mean in the end when you do that? But maybe that's what you need. We need a rich guy to come along who has a lot of money, and we just make him president, and the rest of us just put up our foot and know that he's going to be able to run up and down, do all the things we want him to do. He'll hire all the staff and get everything done, and we'll be fine. I'm being straight with you, very straight. Some may not like it, but I'm being very straight. Yeah. And JMH says we need to see all the UIC members. Well, we're not hiding them, sir. We have posted many of them on our. Well, you're a member. I mean, I guess I'm assuming. I don't know what you mean by seeing all the UIC members. I mean, we're all over the place. What maybe you meant candidates. Yes, we want to get all the candidates on our website, and that's not easy. It's not easy, people. It's not easy. You know how hard it is to work with, to work with a local web developer and all that's involved in doing that without a large pot of cash. We don't get a lot of volunteers who want to give a lot of time to get a lot of things done. Yeah. And so if you are very practical, if you're very pragmatic, you will know that there's a whole heap of fights may get. Whole heap of fight. When you go to your bed and can sleep comfortably and think up a new idea about what the UIC should do, I don't have that luxury. I have pulls and pulls from all different directions. I have 1 million advisors because everybody wants to be an advisor. Everybody wants to tell me what I should be doing, when I should be doing it, and who I should be doing it with. I get telephone numbers to call this person or call that person. Can you imagine? If I were to take every advice, follow up on every phone call every person recommended to me to call, I would never sleep. Period. I would never do any work. As a matter of fact, right now my farm is suffering. My farm is suffering. My bees are suffering. My clients are suffering. Yeah. So let me see. Any other questions? What do we have here? Visits in Catherine Northeastern. Okay. I look forward to that for sure. Um, what else do we have here? What else do we have here? Oh, Una can question Andrew them and ask them why them. Yeah, Mr. Patterson, I do him thing. But I love the pattern, but sometimes it's hard to read. I love the it's lovely, but it's but I follow. I get the message. Jamaican Gamma, I think it is. I get the message. Yeah, I mean, I make myself very available. We don't get a lot of this from the other guys. Yes, pamphlets with the manifesto, absolutely cool guy. We've printed a lot before. We would love to print some more for you. What we encourage a lot of our candidates to do is to send the manifesto electronically, right? So if you have you can get it, we can send it to you if you don't have it, but we have the manifesto in electronic form that you can send through WhatsApp. We have our pamphlets in again electronic format. You can just send through WhatsApp, and we encourage everybody to do that. Share this with share the videos, share the pamphlets electronically because that's a lot less expensive. It's very expensive to print here, so we can find these really good ways of sharing electronically the material without spending a lot of money on printing and so on. So thank you for that, and we will definitely continue to do our best to do that. Mr. Patterson, since UIC not getting enough airtime, wouldn't it be good idea to have a few people from the areas stand with the protesters? Well, I am not sending anybody to go and stand with the protesters. I won't do that. If a member of the UIC wishes to do that, they're more than welcome to do that. We're not opposed to them, but we're not going to send anybody to go and stand with the protesters. At least I'm not going to do that. I think if the protesters want us to be at their protest, they will put out a call and say that that they would like for the UIC to be there. We're not going to inject ourselves. We are here for the people. Every Jamaican is aware of the UIC if they want to be aware of the UIC, to be very honest. We have been in the news with the issue of the lockup that happened. We have our candidates in the communities going around. What I do, though, I do encourage our candidates to be a little bit more visible, to come on. Some people, yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. We're trying to get, as many of our candidates as possible to come forward on the video platform, do the videos in their communities. There are some who are working in their communities and they don't want to publish the videos. We're trying to tell them you need to do that. You need to share it. They don't want to make a public spectacle of what they're doing. But I tell them, it's the nature of the game, right? You have to actually share what's going on with people. So we're working on it. We're working on it. But we're not going to simply go to these persons who are protesting, doing their own protest, and go and hijack it and go and insert ourselves in it like that. We're not for that. We're not seeking to do that at all. You may disagree, and that's fine. And any candidate is free to go to any protest that they wish to participate in. We're not stopping any candidate from doing that. But I am not directing anybody to go and do that. We have to put Mr. Patterson and the UIC in their rightful places, and that is making them the next governance body of Jamaica. Vote UIC. That's Lion Rule. I'm speaking. Patterson protesting would be organized by the UIC councillors, etc., from the area in question. Okay, FB is blocking the UIC total viewing. Yes, we see that as well. Many hurdles to overcome. But here's the good news in all of this. Here's the good news. We have come this far together. Let's take it to the next level. Yeah, we've come this far together. It's not easy. It's a difficult road. I'm here to travel that path with you. I encourage each and every one of you to really step up to the plate. For whatever you're asking me to do, now do too. Come on up and do some more. If you want me to do more, you do more. And so let's rise up together and all do more together as best as we can. The UIC is for one Jamaica, and we're stronger together. So let's do it together. Let's work hand in hand and make this happen. And stop the what's the word now, Steve Lynn? Stop the we only want constructive criticism. That's what Steve Lynn is saying. So let us move on from that. Let us stop with the name calling about weak and about what's the other word? A few others. We can do better than this, folks. Let us be more understanding, be more kind. I'm not going to call you any names. Let us be kinder to one another, be more gentle, be more responsible, more respectful. If we want to build a movement, let's build a movement. If you see something not being done, you can make a recommendation. Your recommendation may not be accepted, but keep it coming, because you might have a very good one that is accepted. And in any event, why not just do your part? Yeah. If you think there is a better way to get the word out, do your part and get the word out. Show the rest of us how you have a better way of getting the word out, and we will learn from you and we'll grow together and continue to create a new and better Jamaica. Thank you for your time. Have a good night until we meet again. Take care.